Cam Jordan's going to be a Hall of Famer. He's led the NFL in sacks since 2012 with over 116. The Saints defense is humming, but it's the Saints offense that's crazy. All right, Cam, your dad was a tight end. You know some offense. Did you know in preseason and did you know in practice with Klint Kubiak, were you saying, man, this is different. This thing is different. Or are you a little surprised? You look like a dominant high school team over a JV squad in this league right now. Are you surprised at all by it?
Hey, look, it's the NFL. Any given Sunday, teams can either win or lose. I'm just happy I'm on the winning side. What we do is we've got a game plan and we execute at a high level. We have to continue that if we want the same success.
Yeah. You know, it's JerryWorld was interesting. I could hear Saints fans in that stadium. Now, I wasn't there. What was it like? Was it 50-50 Saints Cowboy fans?
By the end of the third quarter, yeah. But no, when you walk into Jerry's World and you walk to the Star, you know that there's 100,000 people there, and you saw a black and gold section. It was 25, 30, in my mind, 20, 25,000 Saints fans. But by the end of that third quarter, it felt like it was 75,000. It felt like a 300 type moment where it was that little impact versus a large impact, but that little impact had way more energy. I mean, and you felt that as the game went on. So by fourth quarter, when there was who that chance started going in, and you heard the Saints fans really start rallying, there was no comeback from that.
Yeah. So I got to ask you about Dallas because you just met their offensive line, and we know Detroit and Atlanta and Philadelphia have very good offensive lines. That's all the PFF grades. I don't know. I'm not going to speculate. The Dallas offensive line, is it good? Is it formidable? Tell me, because everybody speculates. You faced it. How is that Cowboy O-line in front of Dak?
You just brought in PFF as like a factual statement. Look, there are always going to be analytics. There's always going to be guys that think they know. When it comes down to the trenches and the trench warfare that happens, it's all about how we can impose our will, how we can try and dominate the line of scrimmage, how we can attack their offense. I think that they do have a good offensive lineman. I think offensive line. I think that they do have a very good quarterback in Dak Prescott. I also believe that the Saints defense has been good for a really long time, and the way that we practice, the way we take training camp, and the way we've had to face our own offense this entire training camp put us in a position to succeed.
So the Saints' new offense has a lot of movement. It feels like much more movement than last year. And by the way, that's Miami. That's McVay. That's the kid in Minnesota, Kevin O'Connell. I like what it looks like. I don't know. It clearly you've added speed to the offense, a deep threat. But you tell me as a defensive player, when a team is shifting constantly and moving, is that a disadvantage for a defensive player? Because clearly it's confusing who you're facing. You tell me at practice, all the movement. How do you view it as a defensive player?
It's a lot of smoke and mirrors. It's a lot of, hey, this is trying to make the picture bigger than what it is. At the end of the day, we faced it in San Francisco last year. We faced the type of offense that brings in those types of motions, but it definitely brings those nuances. And at the end of the day, it just helps you focus on what's important beyond all these movements, beyond cadences, beyond excellent players like Alvin Kamara, Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, Jawan Johnson, Foster Moreau, Taysom Hill. It's all right. How do we win today? How do we win this down? And sure, motions can make you look at the big picture. Oh, snaps! Rashid's motion over to wide receiver, from one wide receiver position to the next. It's Olave coming out the backfield and move over. It's AK coming from a wide receiver spot back into the backfield. How does that affect you? It's all about eliminating those risks. In life, you try and eliminate risks, focus on what's important, and that's what you got to do as a defensive player. And sometimes that's a little harder than others.
So there's about 7, 8, 9. It feels like everybody's got a good pass rusher. But there's, you, Myles Garrett, T.J. Watt, the Hutchinson kid in Detroit. There are elite pass rushers, and you're one of them, and you've been one of them now for over a decade. Let me ask you, is it brute strength? Is it training? Is it scheme? How have you maintained this level? Because there's a lot of good ones. You're in an elite class, and you've been doing it now for over a decade. What is the secret sauce to be great at what you do for the extended period that you've done it?
Man, I don't know if there's such a thing as a secret sauce. You know, each defensive end, each outside linebacker, each edge rusher, every pass rusher has their own ways. You know, you talk about how Von Miller still has an elite steps and how he's going crazy in year 14, especially this last game. You look at Aiden Hutchinson and how he was able to take advantage. What they do in the offseason, couldn't tell you. I know what I'm doing. I'm working. I'm running. I'm making sure that my mind is active, my body is going, and I'm pushing myself to the brink each and every offseason for the pure ability to say, hey, when it comes down to fourth quarter and I look over and I see that fat person, crossing his feet and he looks exhausted, that's when, you have that chance to really take advantage. When I look over and see an offensive lineman not looking you in the eyes and he's looking everywhere else but you feel like Mike Tyson in his prime. He was like, I'm looking dead at his soul, and he's not giving anything in return. You know he's going to be defeated that day. It's just one of those things that you have to train so hard for in the offseason to have the opportunity even to have an ability to win. You're not guaranteed to win with the swipe that you know is going to work. You're not guaranteed to win, with the ability of you being able to beat a guy one-on-one because he may have guard help or he may have a running back chip. But you're working for that opportunity. Just like you do in a game, you're working for that opportunity. Just like you do in a season, you're working for the opportunity to have a chance to win. It's the NFL. Everybody's talented.
Yep.
You have to be able to outwork them.
5 takeaways, 7 sacks through 2 games. Cam Jordan, 14 years and 8 Pro Bowls. They are the shock. They're a little like the Houston Texans last year. You look around and you're like, are they a top 3-4 team in the NFL? They are through 2 weeks. Cam, as always, Saints defensive end. It's great seeing you.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we've been 2-0 before. We were 2-0 last year. What we got to do is keep on hunting.
Great seeing you, man.
Absolutely. Appreciate you having me on.
You bet. Hi, everybody. It's me, Uncle Colin. Subscribe here to get the latest from the herd, including exclusive behind-the-scenes videos and more, wherever you may be, however you may be watching. Thanks again for making us part of your day.